good, everyone? I picked up these babies a couple of days ago, and not gonna do a full review on these because I have featured the Gel Saga a couple times on my channel already, and it is not much different from all the other ones material-wise. It is a felt runner, but I think the quality is pretty nice. But I really just had to get them because this is a retro of the Zebra tiger stripe of the OG that released in the 90s, so I really had to get them. But as not many people are interested in the Gel Saga nowadays, so why do a review? We're here for something completely different today. As with a lot of retros, they do not live really up to the specs of the retro, and that is a lot of time with the Toebox. The Toebox here is okay, I have to admit, but to my liking, this could be a little bit better. So we're gonna give this a reshape today. And what do we need for a reshape? Of course, we're gonna need a pair of shoes. We will need some t-shirts, at least 2 of them, and we will need an iron. You will not really need one with the steam function. Actually, I would turn it off because we don't need any steam at all. But if you want to find out the step-by-step tutorial, gotta stay tuned. So let's get started. So first thing we're gonna do is we are going to remove those laces. Take out the paper, of course, the other one as well. And let's take one of these t-shirts here and stuff it into the toe box. Stuff it in there as much as you can, because you do not want to have any air in there. Not really. It's always a little bit difficult to get in completely, because you really want to have it stuffed out all the way in every corner of the shoe of the toe box. So you do want to have it really tight here in this area, and because you do want to give it a shape and not just have a little dent in it afterwards. Okay, this looks okay now, so I'm going to heat up the iron, and then we're gonna start doing this. Do not set it too high. I usually set it to silk or nylon material because anything else would be too hot. Some people take a really hot setting and just do it real quick. I prefer to put it on the lower end so that you do not accidentally put it on there too long and just going to ruin your shoe, because especially with leather shoes, this is going to be really complicated, and it might do more damage to your shoe than you have intended. So I'm keeping it to silk, and let's plug it in. Next up, we're gonna moisten this t-shirt here. I prefer taking t-shirts because the structure is a lot finer than taking a towel or something like that, because on some shoes you might have that kind of structure then transferred onto the shoe, so you do not really want that. So take some t-shirt that has very fine structure so that this is not gonna happen. So I'm gonna put this right here onto the corner of the table so that I have some room to move around here on the toe box. And let me just get this wet. And then we're gonna put this over the toe box. Like, do you have some color in there? Make sure that you do not have any color in the t-shirt, because I just spotted that I have some color in there. So do it like this. This is much better. Because the water on the t-shirt is preventing to get this too hot and ruin your shoe. So I think this is hot already. Let's just do it gently. Just give it a push on the top and also on the sides a little, like this. And if it gets dry, just move the t-shirt a little around, like that, a little different area. Always check in between if you have achieved your desired result. Do not keep it on there too long. We'll check in between. Now this is already a little better, but I think can give it a little more, especially on the top, because this one is always a little bulgy here on top on the Saga 1 recently, and I don't like that at all. So I'm gonna put this over the Toebox on top and gonna do this like this. Not too much, gotta check in between again. Yes, and I think this is a whole lot better already. You can see that. Also, don't overdo it. If you overdo it, if you give it too much of a reshape, this section right here is going to lift up because the material has to go somewhere, especially if you have a very, very boxy toe box. This might happen. And a lot of Nikes back in the day, I think this has happened. And then you push the material back and it has to go somewhere because it just can't disappear. So be careful with your reshape. It's better to take small steps instead of exaggerating. Like I said, always check your result. And then if needed, apply more pressure or more heat to it. Might be giving it a little more. Because what you do not want is turn this brown. If you have too much heat, that is a bit more likely to happen than if you keep it on a lower setting. And we do not want that. That looks really nasty. I think we're good on this one. So so I'll stuff out the other one with the t-shirt as well, and then try to get the same result because you want them to look the same. And I think we're good. I think to do it more, it would be a little too much. So other side, and this is how this one looks. Much the same. I'm gonna put my t-shirt behind it. I think that's about right. So now we're gonna leave these to dry. Do not wear them until they dry up, and you'll be good. So that was a little step-by-step tutorial on how you reshape your shoes. I'm gonna show you the result afterwards, and also what they are gonna look like on feet. So stay tuned for that.